Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV24x7. I'm Akash Gupta. Now, Pakistan couldn't beat India in 5 previous attempts at the World Cup, and now they have failed to do it on their 6th attempt as well. The scoreline, the head-to-head between India and Pakistan in World Cup matches now stands at a tennis-like scoreline of 6-0. Joining us on the show right now, Mr. Ian Chappell, live from Australia. Also, VVS Lakshman joins us from our Mumbai studio. But before we go across to our panel of experts, let's quickly show you exactly how India managed to beat the arch rivals by 76 runs in their World Cup opener and start their title defense on the perfect note.
Rohit Sharma managed to make just 15 as India lost their first wicket with 34 runs on the board. But that's when a match-changing partnership was forged between Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli. Dhawan fell for 73 after a 129-run stand with Kohli, but the Indian vice-captain motored on, bringing up his 22nd one-day 100. He eventually fell for 126 ball 107. With this stunt, Kohli notched up his second World Cup 100, and he also became the first Indian to score a century in an India-Pakistan World Cup match. At the other end, Suresh Raina found some much-needed form as well. The 28-year-old smashed a 56 ball 74 with 5 fours and 3 sixes. India were looking good for a score of around 320, but Sohail Khan took 5 for 55 to pull things back somewhat in the death overs. Between Jadeja, Rahane, Ashwin and Shami, India added just 7 runs to their total to finish with 300 for 7. Pakistan's innings got off to a nightmare start when they lost veteran batsman Yunus Khan, who was pushed up the order early. Ahmed Shehzad started slow but was playing some good shots. Haris Sohail, playing his 12th ODI, was also looking good but couldn't go beyond 36. Shehzad fell for 47 to Umesh, and that's when the slide began. Pakistan crashed from 102 for 2 to 103 for 5. Boom Boom Afridi had to play a big knock, but he wasn't allowed to go beyond 22 by Shami. Misbah-ul Haq once again was the lone ranger for Pakistan in a match versus India. The pick of the bowlers for India was Mohammad Shami, taking 4 for 35. India winning the match by 76 runs to keep their perfect World Cup record versus Pakistan intact. That's 6 matches and 6 wins now for the Indians against their arch rivals. The perfect way for the defending champions to begin their World Cup campaign.
I felt in this game, it clicked together. It's something that you have to do in tournaments like these. You have to be at your best, and I felt today was one game which was to a lot of extent a very complete game for all of us. But still, we can improve. There are still areas where we need to improve.
They really played well today, and the kind of quality they have, they showed it today. I think we could not really manage to score that. Our batsmen really could not convert their starts, and some of them just got out early. So we need to learn that. Good players, we need to just carry on, go there, and just try to do the job for the team.
All right, those, of course, were the two captains, the Indian captain and the Pakistani captain. It's time now for me to hand over the show to my colleague Nikhil Naz, who is coming to you live right now from Adelaide. He also has Mr. Sunil Gavaskar with him. Nikhil, all yours.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Akash. It's game, set and match India, and there's a reason why I use the tennis terminology, because it's no more about cricket scores. 6-0 is the score now as far as World Cups are concerned. India has beaten Pakistan 6 times, and now it just can't be a coincidence. India does certainly have an edge over Pakistan. So while Pakistan made many double faults, we have 3 aces joining us in Sunil Gavaskar, Ian Chappell and VVS Lakshman. VVS, I'll start with you. We were building up this game yesterday and saying that it will be probably the first close encounter of this World Cup. Unfortunately, in the end, for Pakistani fans, you would have to say, not for Indian fans, it turned out to be a one-sided encounter.
Absolutely, and how disappointing was that? And I think the young batsmen of Pakistan really disappointed. 3 of them had starts. They were in a good position, even though they lost Yunus Khan early on. But once they lost Shehzad, I think they played some poor shots, and their inexperience and handling pressure situation really showed. So I think overall it was a fantastic performance by the Indians in all aspects of the game. They batted well, they batted to a plan. Probably, you would say that they were 20 runs short in the end, but then even the way they bowled and they fielded was fantastic. They took all those catches, and I thought the intent of the fast bowlers was there. They were aggressive, they were looking to take wickets. So I think that's an encouraging sign for the Indian team. This win will help them a lot in going forward in this World Cup. But yes, it was disappointing to see that it was also a one-sided game like what it was yesterday.
Okay, Sunny bhai, 6-0 we are saying. We look back at all the encounters. Would you say that this was the most dominating performance from India? I think the 92-1 runs close, but even that was a lesser run margin compared to this.
I think even 96, a lot of people don't seem to actually talk about 96, which surprises me, because 96 was a terrific win as well. And that really was, 96 and 2011 were must-win games, because they were knockout games. While this one here, or even the one in South Africa in 2003 or 92, really wasn't a must-win game, because
but just the margin of victory.
Yeah, quite clearly, if you win by 76 runs, it is a big win, and it is a comprehensive win. It actually tells that the teams been much superior, and India were really superior in all departments of the game. Whether you look at batting, whether you look at bowling, whether you look at fielding, and most importantly, when you talk about captaincy, because Mahendra Singh Dhoni today was proactive as a captain. He was ahead of the game. I think that really was one of the most heartening aspects of today's win.
Okay, since you talk about MS Dhoni, I'll go across to Ian. Ian, what did you make of MS Dhoni's captaincy today? Sometimes you found him wanting in the one-day format of the game. In fact, recently, even in Test cricket, you thought that he let the game drift. What did you make of MS Dhoni today? As Sunny mentions here, at certain points, he was very proactive and also very aggressive in his captaincy today.
I thought he was very, very good today. And when Dhoni is right on the job, he's an excellent captain, particularly in the shorter forms of the game. What he's got to do is repeat that sort of captaincy against sides like South Africa and Australia if they meet them. Well, they will meet South Africa, whether they meet Australia later in the tournament. So I thought he was terrific. And I think that the teams and the captains in particular who are brave in this tournament and look for wickets in those middle overs, I think if you don't look for wickets in the middle overs, if you let the game just drift along in the middle overs, you're going to be facing 300 plus pretty well every time. So I think the teams that are going to be brave, the captains that are brave in those middle overs and look for wickets, they're going to be the teams who are chasing targets under 300, and that's going to be important, particularly when you get to the knockout stage of the World Cup.
Alright, now we're going to look at different aspects of this game. One thing that VVS mentioned there, at one point India seemed 20 runs short. Did you fear as well? Because we spoke about this pitch, and MS Dhoni said that this is most likely the pitch that we played against Australia. That was a very high scoring game. So when the innings finished and India finished at 300, were you a bit worried?
Well, 300 is always a very big score. 300 means that you've got to maintain an average of 6 runs and over. And unless you get off to a brilliant start, a flying start, that's never easy. Because at some stage or the other, you're going to start losing wickets. So 300 was always a very good score. But then, I think against Pakistan, with the kind of explosive batting that they have, sometimes down with, say, somebody like a Shahid Afridi, you always want those 20 or 30 extra runs. And what happens in cricket, particularly if when a team is batting first and you're talking about the last 8 or 10 overs, if a team which has actually had a caning, like if the team has got, say, something like a 270 for 2 and they dismiss the other team for, say, 300, then, the fielding team, despite facing a big total like 300, starts to feel that the momentum has turned in their favor. And vice versa, supposing you actually had a situation where a team is 120 for 7, and it, suddenly the last 3 wickets add 150 and, take it to about 280, 270 or 280, then that team starts to feel that the momentum has turned in its favor. So with those quick wickets that happen, where the Indians were restricted to 300, maybe Pakistan would have started to think, look, we've managed to restrict them, and because we managed to restrict them to, say, 300 and not 330, that we might be in with a chance.
Okay, VVS, do you agree with that? Do you think that had this 300 been against any other team, this Pakistani batting lineup would have done a better job? Because it was against India, arch rivals India, that extra pressure is the reason why they collapsed the way they did.
No, I don't think so. I think it was poor execution of their plans. I'm not even sure whether they had a plan how to get 300. Because when we see, whenever a team chases 300, you have to have wickets in hand, and you have to have one set batsman who will play at least in the 40 or 45th over. So they didn't have any plan at all in their chase. So it was disappointing. It's not just because of the mental pressure, but I think they didn't execute their plan. And I think what was evident was that, they were inexperienced batsmen. You saw Maqsood, the way he came and the first ball he slashed outside the off stump. So they threw away their wickets when the captain was at the other end. So I think it was disappointing batting display. And I think that was the reason why they were not able to chase. It's nothing to do with Indian bowling. Yeah, Indian bowlers did well. Nothing to do with mental pressure. It is just poor planning and pure execution of their shots.
Okay, to something that we spoke about on the eve of the game, and Ian, I come to you. We spoke about how crucial the toss is going to be. Most of you were of the opinion that batting first will be very, very important. Now looking back, India winning that toss, do you think that itself set the tone for the game and it was advantage India even before the first ball was bowled?
No, not really. The toss, I hate to see a toss win a cricket match, and generally it doesn't, and I don't think today it won the match. It was the fact that India played well after they won the toss, and that's what's important. It's once you decide what you're going to do, you've got to do it well. And I thought that India, and there was a lot of pluses for India today. Obviously, one of them at the start was Shikhar Dhawan finding some really good form. That's crucial for India. And I think another big one was the fact that Suresh Raina got some runs and got some form. I really think that if those two guys are in form, then India can probably afford to go with the 5 frontline bowlers. And the one change I'd like to see them make to the team is to bring in Patel, the young left-arm spinner. I think he's a much more attacking bowler than Jadeja. Jadeja is there probably for his fielding and the fact that he adds a few extra runs, but I don't think his batting's that important, particularly if Shikhar Dhawan and Raina make runs. Then I don't think that's important, and I feel that Patel's a better bowler. So I thought there were some real pluses today for India, but I didn't think that the toss made any difference to the result of the game.
Okay, Ian touched upon a few players, few star performers for India in this game. Virat Kohli, Suresh Raina, Mohammad Shami as well. We'll talk in details about those players, but time for us to take a short little break. But if you're thinking Adelaide is all quiet because of the atmosphere right now, well, that is because it's been a few hours since the game got over. I caught up with a few fans right after the game was over, and this is what they had to say. Listen in, and we'll be back after this short break. Did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, it was great. We came all the way from Melbourne in here. We've flown there and we have been here from last 2 days. So it was just pure fun. Paisa Vasool totally, and we enjoyed a lot.
What was the best moment of the game for you?
Best moment was India playing cricket, so having 4s and 6s, that's what we like, and hooting Pakistanis because they have never won a game in here. So we thought they would, but they never will, yeah.
Okay, we had a few Pakistani fans. They're a bit shy. Don't be shy. Okay, what do you think went wrong in the game today?
I think there's a few things. Firstly, our bowling gave away too many runs, and Kohli played really well.
Okay.
And when we were batting, we lost a few quick wickets. When we were around 100 runs, that's why we lost it.
All right, but that shouldn't stop you from having a good party tonight. It is a festive atmosphere. Would you party with a few Indian fans?
Oh, definitely. We're enjoying it, and everybody's really friendly and really in a good mood. So Adelaide's going to have a big party tonight, I think.
Okay, you're going to party?
Yeah, definitely. I have some Pakistani friends who came all the way from Melbourne with me, so we're definitely going to party with them. They are our brothers, purely brothers.
Okay, that's Pakistani bhai. Okay, just one word answers. In terms of percentage, forget about what happened in the game today. What percentage chance will you give India to retain the World Cup?
100%. 100.
You say 100.
100%.
100%. You've all forgotten about Australia, South Africa, everyone after this game.
It's 100% for sure, no doubts.
For winning the World Cup, is it?
World Cup, yeah.
Okay.
110.
Okay, he's gone a step ahead.
I would say 99%. Only Australia can beat India.
rest of the
So then it would be 50-50%. Yeah, 50% to Australia, 50 to India. Okay, Virat's form. What do you think? That was twofold advantage for India. One, winning the game, and Virat's form.
Yeah. Never underestimate someone. Virat Kohli has proved in the past, and he yet proved it again today as well. So it's not one-man army. He always proves when we need him. So some people think, yes, Suresh Raina as well. He's back in the form. And Shikhar Dhawan.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, we are really glad that Shikhar Dhawan is back in form as well, because he was the only player who was not in form, and we were really concerned about his performance. And this was the first game in the World Cup. Considering Shikhar Dhawan is back in form, that's really a good news for India.